Alright, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the 4th edition of the Mustang Cup. We've had the pre-qualifying, we're just getting the grid sorted now for the top 10 shootout. Give us a few minutes and we will bring that to you. What I can tell you is that Nax has set a very competitive time early on. He's more than a second clear of the pack and the clear favourite for the shootout. But we've got some surprises at the back and it's going to be pretty tight, I think, for that midfield. It's going to create a very interesting. So what we're doing now, lads, is we are resetting the lobby, adjusting a few settings ready for the top 10 shootout. Now a bit of housekeeping for both the drivers and you at home. What it's going to look like is everyone is going to hit... no, sorry. Let me get this right. We're going to enter the track one at a time. And from there, so everyone can spectate if you're not driving, if you're within the room. At home we're going to have a pretty spectacular view and we're going to go one at a time in reverse order, starting 10th all the way down to 1st to set the grid. Now we're preparing for a rolling start because we don't trust any of our drivers for a standing grid here at Bathurst. I'm being accused of pointing fingers. I cannot confirm or deny who I'm inferring to. Look, last Mustang Cup we made it 2 corners before the first safety car. I'm really hoping we can do a little bit better than that tonight. We've got 50 laps tonight. Let's try and keep them green. So what's going to happen is Golden Alpine, can you please enter the track for your outlap? I'll talk through the process of what we're going to see. So as Golden Alpine leaves the pits, Alpine. See, I watch too much. I clearly watch too much Formula One. As Golden Alpine leaves the pits, we're going to watch his outlap. He's going to cross the line to begin his flyer. 1 shot. That's all you get. It is 1 shot qualifying. The time that Golden Alpine sets will determine his grid position. As he crosses the line to start his lap, and as he makes it up the hill, the next driver, who in this case will be Piercy, will start their outlap. So you'll follow them round. So just where we're seeing Golden Alpine about at the moment, that's when that driver is on their hot lap, the next person will be exiting onto the grid, onto the track. Sorry. So I'll make sure everyone knows when they're coming out. So keep your ears on. Once you've finished your hot lap, you may exit to the lobby. Do not cancel your entry, but you may exit to the lobby, and then you can spectate for the rest of the shootout. So for those of you familiar with Gran Turismo, you might note that we have tyres and fuel wear turned off for the qualifying session. That allows cars to be in essentially qualifying trim for this run. We want the best times we can possibly get. I'm expecting some low 2s. Look, a 159 is on the cards. I wouldn't be totally amazed if we see a 159. It'd be impressive, but it is definitely on the cards. Alright, we see Golden now taking the final corner to start his hot lap. All the pressure is here. Brakes well into the first corner. Gets a pretty decent exit, just clips the grass on the way out, but that's what you want. That's exactly the line you want to be taking. We're looking for about an 18.9, 18.8 for the first split for a good time. We're a little slow, but you know what? There's plenty of time left to be made up. On the brakes well, hits the apex very well early on the throttle, all the way out to the wall. And again, takes it all the way to the wall. We're seeing some good driving. Yeah, Piercy, please start your outlap. Yep. Little bit of a lift, but that's what we'd expect. Through McPhillamy. Through the S's. Down through the dipper. Holding second gear. Some people are holding third, but he drops to second. A little bit wide through Forest, a little bit of a loss through the... we're going to see that trickle down the main straight. Let's go on board for this final sector. Now we saw a 2:04.5 from Golden Alpine. I'm going to get that wrong the entire race. We saw a 2:04.5 in the pre-qualifying. I think this is going to be a little bit quicker. This just looks pretty tidy under the Armour All Bridge. Oh, a little bit squirrely. This is going to be a good lap. Should be happy with this. 2:04 flat. Very, very nice. Lovely. Let's go watch Pearsey. Pearsey's coming around the Forest Elbow now. Now that lap was faster than Pearsey's pre-qualifying time, so he's going to have to step it up if he wants to move up the grid. 278 kilometers an hour, brakes at 125. So we got Pearsey now. Hellblazer will be next. Pearsey starts his lap. Running the special Simpsons livery tonight. Hard to miss. Again, 18.8, 18.9 is what we're looking for. The split didn't show for us. Oh, very, very wide into the wall. Oh dear. Got a bit to work up. Look, one shot qualifying is not for everyone. We know that Pearsey can be quite good around Always. I think he's having a bit of fun now. Oh, into the wall again. Look, I can't see Pearsey improving on Golden's time here, but in saying that, one shot qualifying, anything can happen. We could see plenty of wall hits. This could still be middle of the pack yet. We have no idea. We don't know what to expect. So Pearsey takes it down the main straight. We know he's going to be disappointed with that. He's purple. Pearsey's purple. A little bit surprised. Pearsey's made up a lot of time somewhere. That's come as a bit of a shock to me, but that's all right. Oh, you know what? I'd written him off, but I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't write anyone off. He was 1.5 tenths up. Oh, look at that. Where did that come from? Can someone check his power and weight, please? Have we got balance of performance on? That's a good lap. That's a great recovery lap. Well done, Pearsey. Now, Hellblazer set a 2:03.8, so again he's going to have to go faster than his pre-qualifying time. There was a little bit of a jump down to Ben in 7th in pre-qualifying of 1.3 seconds, so there's going to be a bit of a gap, I think, realistically, unless there's some big mistakes. The best Hellblazer can hope for is 8th. Decent run out of the first corner. Looked like it was maybe a little bit slow through the first sector. Again, a little bit wide. Didn't carry as much speed as we would probably want. A little bit wide again. But he certainly carried a lot more speeds through Solomon than we've seen. And can carry that through McPhillamy. He gets right up on the curb, uses all the track through Skyline. Riding the brake really nicely. Definitely, he's purple. I didn't catch by how much, I just saw the purple flash. 2/10 up, I'm being told. Beautiful trail braking. We can see the telemetry there. Beautiful tail braking into Forest Elbow and gets a lovely exit. I'm expecting this to be up. The question is, can he improve 3/10 from his pre-qualifying time? Oh, a little bit sideways again. Pearsey did the same thing though, so I reckon there's still time there to be made. Final corner, locking up the inside wheel. This looks to be a good lap. Is it good enough? No, it's not. A little bit of time lost in that final sector, I think. Bad luck. Alright. Ben George. Keeping the tyres warm. Now we know Ben can go quick round here. We've seen it before. 7th is probably a little bit lower than he wants to be. We're wanting to maximise exit out of the final corner as he crosses the line to start his lap. Let's go on board. Decent exit. 2:02.5 was his pre-qualifying lap, so a full second faster than Pearsey, so we'll hope that he does that. He's 2/10 up already. We want to brake at that left-hand side, at that little road, carrying as much speed as we can as we continue up the hill. Oh, he's wide. He holds it well though. Holds it well. We're going to turn in at the tree. A little lift, that's what we need. Oh, very cautious through McPhillamy as we get that beautiful skyline and through the S's. 1.6 seconds up. This is a good lap. Holds it in third. That's the first time I've seen that. Everyone else so far has dropped it down to second. I've had Osto leave the room. It sounds like there is some concerns around his engine there. We're going to give him we're going to give him one extra lap to try and enter. 1.5 up, so he's lost a little bit of time. Comes through under the Armour Bridge. Oh. And he'll be happy with that. A 2:01.7. That's much more competitive. Beautiful. Osto, can we head out? Have we got the glitches sorted? The mechanics have done their job. Beautiful. We got Osto trickling out of the pits here now. In the gorgeous Ned Mustang livery. So far, if we so far we've had Ben go fastest, followed by Pearsey, followed by Hellblazer. No, I've missed someone there. Who have I missed? Gee, that's not good. Did Hellblazer go faster than Golden Alpine? No. So we got Ben George, Peasy, Hellblazer, Golden Alpine, and Hellblazer to round out the 10 so far. Osto's wasting absolutely no time on his outlap. His mechanics worked pretty quick to get his car ready. We'll take a quick moment to run you through what we're going to expect for the race. We've got a 50 lap race. We've got a rolling start under the safety car. The safety car today is driven by one of the most successful Mustang Cup drivers we've seen in Elrock, making a little bit of space for a new winner potentially. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jimmy Superfly. We've got Osto here. See those brakes, red hot. We're going to see Osto here. Then we've got Type 54, Sir Dids, Extreme, Marty and Nax to round out the top 10 shootout. But right now we're going to see Osto cross the line to start his flying lap. If his outlap is anything to go by, he is in good form. Beautiful exit using all the revs. The Mustang definitely has the 1 lap advantage, but it does drink. It definitely drinks, and it chews through fuel and tyres a little bit more throughout the race. So I think 1 lap has got to go to Mustang, but over 2 laps the Mazda is probably the preferred car. Osto with a good lap so far. He doesn't catch 4th coming up the hill, which is surprising to me. We're going to see him turn in at the tree. Fraction of a lift. Carrying pretty decent speed here. Should see him hit 220 just as he turns into McPhillamy. Now the tricky part. Look at that, riding the throttle and the brake at the same time to carry as much speed through. Catches first through the dipper. We haven't seen that before. That might have been a slip of the gears, I think. Again, that technique, riding the accelerator, just that fraction to keep the car stable through the mid-corner. I'm not opposed. I've done it before. There's definitely a place for it. I haven't had split times pop up, so I've got nothing to compare on, but I think this is a pretty decent looking lap. I would be expecting around a 2015. He dropped a 2013 in pre-qualifying. Ooh, that's a decent lap. 2026, so that will put him behind Ben but in front of Pearsey and the rest of the pack so far. Alright, so let's go have a sneaky peek at Steve, Type 54, the old fart, as he professes himself. Locks both front wheels coming into the final corner, getting ready for his flying lap. Now, Type is probably a little bit of a dark horse here. Or maybe I spoke too soon. A little bit wide out of the first corner. Plenty of track left to make up some time. Probably expecting a 19.5 or something like that through the first sector here. A little bit off the pace. But as I said, plenty of time. As read earlier, the Mazdas is definitely a little bit slower on the single lap pace. But we know that Steve is pretty decent with his race pace. He's pretty decent at staying out of trouble. probably taking a little bit more of a cautious line, but you know what? Nothing wrong with that. I think staying in front of Pearsey is probably Steve's goal here at a 2:03.6 from memory. Very decent exit onto the straight. That will help his lap time as he carries that speed the entire way down. Yeah, so you can see 275 is the highest that we're peaking there, and we've seen 280, 281 in the Mustang. One's a little bit wide, manages to hold it on track reasonably well still. You can see brake at the 75. Decent turn in. .203.7, so I think that will put him just behind Pearsey, but it will put him in front of Golden, Alpine. So Dids. Well, that's the best exit we've seen yet out of the final corner to start a lap. Late on the brakes, and it shows as it misses the apex a fraction, but carries decent speed through. Probably a couple of tenths down for the first sector, but as we said, plenty of track to make it up. Minimum corner speed there of 138. That's the fastest we've seen so far as well. Look at that trail braking. That's perfection. Hardly hits double-digit speeds. Catches fourth just before the tree. This is a good-looking lap. 2:01.7 is what he needs to beat. He did a 2:01.739 in pre-qualifying, so we know that he's got the pace to do it. We're purple in the second sector, so we are faster. That was a perfection. We're going to see some brilliant straight line speed here to get some beautiful exit. We are 0.13 up. This is going to come right down to the wire. How much do you brave it? How late do you brake? I think that was probably a little bit cautious, but still looking like a good time. You can see on the odometer there, Dids has put some good miles in on this car with 950 kilometres on the clock. He knows this car well, and it pays off with a 2:01.6 as Dids takes the top spot for now. We've got 3 drivers left. We've got Extreme, Marty McFarty and Nax on his out. Now I did have a little bit of a an interview with our mate Extreme before the race, and he's quietly optimistic. We know that New Zealanders are notoriously quick around here. There's something in the water over there. He'll really be wanting to put himself high up the grid. So we come around to start the lap. Decent exit. we're up by 2/10. That's a good lap so far. Holds it pretty well. Coming up to the first really technical corner of the cutting. Want to carry as much speed as possible. That minimum speed was higher than we have seen so far. Oh, how close was that to the wall? Kane is leaving absolutely nothing out there. Drops to fourth for a fraction for turn in. The top spot for now, or do you give it absolutely everything? Leave nothing out there. The back end steps out. Let's roll with him for the last little sector here. Really gives you a sense of speed. Brakes very late. Shifts down very late as well. Gets decent turn in. Gets a good exit, a little bit of a wiggle. Or must have lost a little bit of time through that final bit. A 2:02.0. Looks like we might be having a few issues with the lobby. We're just working out what the there's a couple of glitches in the lobby. The joys of sim racing. Yeah, we're having a few glitches. We'll try and get through the top 10 shootout. The lobby will reset before the start of the race. To any of our drivers, if you are having any connection issues, you are more than welcome to leave the room, leave the lobby. Your qualifying spots will be saved. There's no issues there. So just standard GT Sport stuff, hey? Something we've all come to expect and learn to live with. Now I said earlier that Dids had a lot of kilometres on his car. Bloody hell, look at this. 10,000 kilometres on Nax's Mustang. He knows this car inside and out. And he knows this track inside and out as well. He's the favourite to win tonight, there's no doubt about that. He'll be putting in the final preps to start his flying lap here. I think a 2016 should fall pretty easily unless there's a major mistake. But the pressure is on. Anything can happen. That's the beauty of one lap qualifying. Very late on the brakes. Got the brave peels, the back end steps out. Oh, very squiggly. We didn't get a split. I suspect it's probably a fraction down. Good exit as we charge up the mountain. And that minimum corner speed was higher than Diddler's. I suspect that Nax will be a little bit more cautious than some of the others and trust that he will make up time elsewhere in the lap. He's 5/10 up. Oh, a little bit of a kick. Hard on the brakes, hugs the inside beautifully and gets a good exit. Only 2 brake markers to go. Six tenths up. It would take something pretty terrible from here to lose that top spot. Navigates that pretty well. Just one corner to go. Well inside the track. He's played it cautious. We're not going to see a 159, but we will see him sit on the top step for now with a 2-minute 0.8. Well done. Beautiful lap. That's going to take some beating. Now 2-minute 0.8 for the Mazda is a bit of an ask. It's doable. There's no denying it's doable, but it is a bit more of an ask. We know he's nervous. We know he's nervous. I think everyone's holding their breaths here in the commentary box, at home, in the pit lane, and in the car. Marty exits the final corner to start the final lap of the top 10 shootout. Can Nax hold the top spot, or will Marty give the upset? He's certainly cleaner than Nax through turn 1. He's 3/10 up. We know Nax had an average first sector. Does Marty leave it all on the track and risk starting at the back? That's the question. Oh, not a great minimum corner speed there. He's going to struggle to catch that. Nax's delta is going to be gaining on him the whole way up the mountain. He's not leaving anything to chance through Salmon. Over Skyline, brakes late. That's brave. Hugs the walls. Into the dipper, hard on the brakes. Bit of a different tactic that we've seen. Oh, he's scraped the wall. I don't think he's lost too much time. Bit of a different tactic we've seen though. Marty has a bit of a different feel on the brakes. He's much sharper on the brakes and coasts through the mid-corner. We've seen most other drivers so far feather that brake through the mid-corner. We're not getting splits at this point, so we're running blind. We're picking back up on stream now. Picks up the throttle beautifully out the final corner, runs on the grass, leaves nothing to chance. 2:02.2. So that will slot just behind Extreme. Beautiful. Well done all of our top 10 entrants. We're going to have Nax starting on pole. I can't say anyone's ridiculously surprised. We've got a few minutes. Got a few minutes before the start of the race. We'll keep the stream running. We are going to... Yeah, now's the opportunity to go and grab a drink. Change your tyres. No pun intended. Yeah, so we're going to be setting the grid manually. So essentially, being a practice lobby, everyone's got free choice of tyres. Everyone will be starting with a full tank of fuel. We're going to return to the lobby. We can see a few people are already opting for the racing soft after the qualifying session's over, so they're shifting to the soft from the super soft. Both the soft and the super soft are what we'll expect to see for the majority of the race. As you can see, tyre wear on 4, fuel depletion on 4. The time of day is 4:30. Now that does cast quite a few shadows on the track and will be a little bit of a challenge for some drivers. I think what the biggest challenge will be, though, will be shifting from a car in qualifying trim straight to a heavy car, and probably on harder tyres as well. Everyone's going to need to be pretty cautious. As I said, we've got a rolling start rather than a standing start because we don't trust any of you. Grab your drinks, grab your bickies, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes as we get ready to start. Alright, welcome back everyone. As you can see, we've got a few cars out on track warming up, ready for the 50 lap race. Let's go and have a look at who we've got. Roddy Dongs running the matching livery to Pearsey. Look, let's be honest, not off to a great start. We've already got engine damage on the warm-up lap. But I can confirm this is his first day on a wheel. He's an old controller boy. Not just his first day, that was his first lap on a wheel. He's been absolutely thrown in the deep end here. He's used to the kiddie pool, and all of a sudden he's drowning. 50 laps on a new wheel is a big ask. So, look, if you want a roughie, if you want an absolute deep bet, Roddy Dongs is probably paying somewhere close to 10,000. Another new welcome we've got is Mickey as well. Mickey didn't make it for our qualifying session, so he will start further down the grid. All the drivers are doing their final preps, making sure that they're hydrated, making sure the bladders are relieved. 50 laps is going to take a little bit of time. We can't have you sitting. So let's give you a quick rundown of the Mustang Cup. For those of you who have missed what we've done so far, this is the 4th edition. The 4th and final. This is closing the Mustang Cup chapter, making way for new events in the future. This is the second time we've got a 50 lap endurance race, as we see Mickey go into the wall. This is the second time we've got a 50 lap endurance race around Mt Panorama. I was driving last race, and let me tell you, the safety cars screw with you. They make it difficult. It becomes a whole new ball game. So those of you who are familiar with endurance racing on Gran Turismo Sport, it is a bit different. There's something new. We're just taking a moment to make sure that everyone is ready on the grid. We're about to head to the track for the 50 lap endurance race. Let me quickly run through the grid. We've got Nax on pole, Dids on second, Ben George in third, Extreme, Marty, Osto, Pearsey, Type 54, Golden, Hellblazer, Brandon, Mickey, and Roddy Dongs bringing up the back. As I said, we've got a rolling start. So we're going to see Elrock bring us round in the safety car. Many thanks to Elrock for being willing to step into the safety car's seat. It's a thankless position. He's not paid enough. We get the countdown, but we can ignore that because we know that we are rolling around the safety car for one lap. So let's take another look at the grid. We've got Nax starting in pole position. He will take control of the grid around the chase to set them off under a pretty standard safety car procedure. Sir Dids, 72. Starting second. I think that's probably a bit higher than he might have expected, but it's definitely a welcome position. He'll really have the challenge from behind with Ben, George and Extreme. I think Sir Dids and Ben are going to be under attack pretty quick with Marty. It depends on how... Sorry, Extreme and Marty, but it depends on how they want to play the fuel game. If they want to go all out, burn some fuel and try and push for a gap. As I said, that Mustang is definitely a quicker over one lap, but the Mazda will come into its own later on in the stints. Last race we did see an early safety car, so drivers might be predicting that as well. Extreme next in that beautiful Holden livery. Red Bull Racing, big 23 on the side. Kane's run 23 for as long as I've known him. Marty McFarty, he'll be hoping to go back to the future from last race. He performed spectacularly last race. Osto in that beautiful Ned livery. Peasy behind. Type 54. Alpine. Hellblazer. Brandon, Mickey's and Rodalongs to round out the field. So we're going to take a look at Nax, our leader, as we pass under this lovely sign from the Victorian government. Not the Victorian government, jeez, the New South Wales government reminding us not to speed. He will maintain speed and he will be the leader as Elrock safety car pulls into the pits. So we're now looking at Nax as he takes control of the field to start this race. Everyone needs to be making sure that they are remaining 8 car lengths behind the car in front, or within 8 car lengths, and there is no weaving past the chase, so we should see single file. Nax has control, so when he puts the foot down it is green light, so we will wait for that. We'll listen for the revs. All the spectators on the hill have their cameras out. Nax goes right at the exit. Oh, he's got a bit of a tail slapper on. Dids is going to have a beautiful run into the first corner. Does he go for it or not? Ben decides to slip in. Oh, the cold tyres has already caught out Diddler. Nax in first. Ben. Marty McFarty. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened with Diddler there. Where's he gone? Here he is. It just looks like the cold tyres caught him out. He put into the kitty litter on turn 1. He's regained back onto the track, lovely. So we go back up the mountain. Nax. Marty McFarty. Osto. Pearsey. Ben all over the back of Pearsey. Roddy Dongs. Steve is in the wall. Let's just see if he can recover it. Heavily damaged car. Sounds like he's had some wheel glitch. He's back on track. We're just going to keep an eye on that and see if we can make it round to the pits or not. We will avoid safety cars if we can. Max out in front. Marty following. Osto. Everyone's sort of found a little bit of space here. Extreme has Golden Alpine on the back. Alpine decides to sit in tow and then runs a little bit wide. Dids has already made it back up to 9th. He's charging through the field, leaving nothing to chance. We see Nax cross the line for the first time. 2:06.9 as those tyres warm up. No, that's not the time. Where's that come from? Starting to see people get into a little bit of a groove now. Type has an engine penalty and will make it back to the pits. He'll be hoping for a safety car to catch back up to the pack at some point. Knowing this lot, I can guarantee that's going to come. Marty is caught right up to Nax, all over the back of him, over the top of the hill. My guess is Nax is on the fuel save straight away, and Marty, having the easier fuel save, can sit on his backside. We might come back to that as we scroll back down through the field, see where we're at. Also, we're all starting to spread out and find our space. Nax has pulled away a little bit through the S's and the dipper. Probably much to his delight. He doesn't want to be giving Marty too much of a tow down the straight. Not just to pull a move, but also to fuel save. The fuel save is big advantage sitting in the slip. You'll often see drivers willingly sit behind to save. Type 54 exiting the pits now. All fixed up, ready to return to racing. Roddy Dong's familiarising himself with the wheel. He's got engine damage as well, but will make it back to the pits. Probably in a similar boat to Steve, Type 54 there. So we return back to the front. Nax has pulled that lead out to 1.2 seconds now. So he drops to 2:02.5. Pretty decent for race pace. Marty is certainly driving within the car a little bit more than Nax, but also has the lap time to prove that at the moment. Osto and Pearsey are pretty close here. Let's go on board with Osto. And we see him run up the hill through the cutting. Pearsey gets a little bit wide. This might give Osto a run up the hill, but whether he does anything with that or not is the question. So Osto on the super softs. Oh, Osto's gone wide. Does he hold it? Comes off the throttle, manages to hold it. Ben would have had a good view of that. Let's see if we can go back and catch that from Osto. He just comes through McPhillamy. Gets a little bit eager on the throttle. Puts on the gravel. It does manage to hold it pretty well. We return Pearsey, Osto, Ben sitting right on the tail of Osto. Let's have a look if he does a move here. Osto going defensive early. Ben not really taking any bites there. Happy to sit behind and feel safe. No Extreme will be a little bit disappointed with that start, sitting in 6th. Plenty to play with, and he's certainly driving within the car better than anyone else that we've looked at so far. Oh, as we see Mark Golden Alpine go wide and Dids get through. Dids has made a decent recovery after putting it in the gravel on turn 1. He's still 12 seconds off the pace, but that could be a lot worse. Managed getting away with that incident without any damage. So we look back through the pack. Hellblazer, Mickey and Brandon. Mickey and Hellblazer are pretty close here. Does Mickey have a little bit of a look? I think he's going to sit behind willingly. He gets a good look at that Jack Daniels Mustang. Everyone's found himself a little bit of space as they settle into the first part of the race. You'll notice there that Mickey just has had a little bit of a knock to the front of the car. I've missed that, not sure where that's come from. Oh, and a little scrape to the tail there as well. Oh, and he's in the wall badly. Managed to hold it together. Now this is a bit of an odd experience for all other drivers because they are listening to the commentary as they go. So they know when we're watching, the commentator's curse is a real thing because the pressure pipes up all of a sudden when they know you're being watched. So we have a look at Nax there. Now I'm going to be, as I said, because the drivers are listening to the commentary channel, I'm going to be avoiding reading out any specific details on fuel and tyres, but I will leave it on display for you guys to have a look at. I might make mention of them, but that's probably about it. We'll leave it for you viewers watching at home. Marty happily chipping away at 202s. Pearsy just a fraction slower. Ben setting the purple sector on the first. I haven't been watching Nax's lap times too quick. The two are and nothing to be concerned about. Now Ben is on a controller. His highest up in the field so far that doesn't have the wheel. The controller is definitely a little bit of a hindrance on the tyres especially. You can see he's running the racing softs probably to try and combat that. As he has gets really close to Osto up through Skyline. Is he lining him up for a move down the straight? Meanwhile, Extreme behind is licking his lips because he wants Osto to go defensive. He wants Ben to throw it up. He'd love to get involved in this little scrap. But I must say I've been very impressed. Everyone's been well behaved so far. We haven't seen any craziness. As I say that though, Type and Roddy Dongs, a little bit of a move through corner 1. It seemed pretty amicable though. Ben sits behind Osto. So we're going to expect the first pit window somewhere around lap 11 if we don't get a safety car. If we do get a safety car, I suspect that we'll see the majority of the pack dive into the pits. Roddy Dongs has put it in the wall with engine damage. That's going to be a full course yellow as we figure out what's going on. Full course yellow is 180 kilometers maximum. No overtaking, please. 100. Yeah. So full course yellow. Everyone's slowing down. And that is going to be a safety car as Elrock exits the pits now to pick up the pack. The leaders are going to have to be very careful as they come down the main straight, as Roddy Dogs will be on the track and will be slow. Everyone please make your way past Roddy Dongs. Roddy Dongs, if you keep to the left and let everyone through. Take extra caution though, there's no race. Full course yellow. So I expect that we'll see the majority of the field pit here as we come through. A few might take the opportunity to repair damage. Interestingly, Steve hasn't pitted. He's probably going to make the opportunity to catch up to the pack, remembering that he's got a full course yellow as well. As we see Nax, our race leader, enter the pits. And we can have a look at some. Yeah, Steve's going to go past the safety car and pick him up the next lap. Marty McFarty, not too different on fuel. As you see, everyone entering the pits here. All the pit crews are coming out. Fuel numbers, no one super surprising except for Kane. Look at that, with a mad fuel save at 48%. He has been driving well within that car, taking no risks, passing anyone, making sure that he does it all in the pits. Everyone coming into the pits. I expect that everyone will exit in a similar order than we have as Nax picks up Elrock, our safety car driver, on the main straight here. So Nax and Marty maintain position as we got a big train. And look at the jump from Kane. He's gone all the way up to third. What a fuel save. That has made all the difference. Now you would expect everyone to brim at this point on the make the most of any opportunities that come down the track, but that is a spectacular move from Kane, doing it all with strategy. You can see everyone making their way up. I can't spot any other big movers in the pits. There may have been that I've missed. Alsto's dropped behind Ben. They were pretty close going into the pits. That would have been just that little bit of extra fuel. Golden Alpine coming up to make up to the pack. Hellblazer behind. Nicky, Brandon, Steve. Elrock, our safety car, leading us through, making sure everyone's behaving themselves. The safety car will be coming in this lap. The damage is cleared. So Nax will take control of the pack around now as Elrock pulls off in the safety car. No weaving past the chase. Nax not wanting Elrock to get too far in front. He's going to sit right on his tail. And he's going early. Nax is already gone. It's green flag. We've got no overtaking until the line. Oh, that's going to make it very interesting as Nax runs wide and Marty McFarty is going to have a look into the first corner. Let's go on board. Marty brakes slightly later, holds his line, and they're going to drag up the main straight. The Mustang does have the better power, so Marty drops back into the slipstream. Max holding a very defensive line, forcing Marty to commit to the outside. As Pearsey gets up the inside of Kane as well. Osto's had a poor run out of the cutting, and Dids is on behind him. As we head back up the front, Nax has pulled a little bit on Marty. He'd want to be pulling out that gap as much as possible, as soon as possible, to not give Marty any hope down Conrod Straight. We know that Nax's strong point is through the S's and through the dipper, so he does make up a couple of tenths there. But the slipstream is strong. Marty runs a little bit wide. That's going to give Pearsey the perfect opportunity as we go on board. Pearsey's going to pass him, and it's going to happen all on the straight. So we go back and watch it from Kane's perspective. What a crazy lap for Marty, as he's popped it in first and then already dropped all the way down to third. Osto's jumped Ben as well. Which would be welcome relief from the front bumper of Dids, who was on his behind a moment ago. So we can see Nax has built up a little healthy lead. Pearsey has got a nice gap, and Marty does not have a nice gap. The Extreme all over the backside. Now, we've seen the tactical game from Extreme before. We saw it in the first stint. Marty's on the medium tyre, Extreme on the soft, so there is a tyre advantage there. They're in equal cars, so it'll be down to driving style and driving performance, how they want to play this. All the while, Osto creeps up behind them. A little touch on the wall there from Pearsey. That's not going to help him. And he's got the penalty too. He must have cut a little bit through the dip. Let's have a watch. Let's see how many positions he loses. He's going to have to take that penalty before the start-finish line. Where he chooses to do that is up to him, as long as it doesn't impede. He's managed to keep Marty out of the slipstream though. Osto gets past Extreme. That seemed like Extreme wasn't too fussed by that and was quite happy to let him go. And Pearsey is going to have to burn that penalty. He comes across to the left-hand side to burn it now, as we see Marty get past, Osto get past. And Kane Extreme is going to have a great run up at him, up the mountain, if I can get my words out. Mustang power, you can see it pulling away there, even in the slipstream. Extreme can't do much about it, but we can see there's a little battle ahead. Marty puts it, the overtake. Osto goes for the switchback. Can't do much about it. Let's go back and have a quick look at that little switchback move because we missed it. Marty holding the line, and Osto got the switch but couldn't get it done. Osto will be well familiar with that simply because I pulled it on him last race. Nax building out a healthy lead. You can see by the lap times he's probably conserving quite a bit. Whoa, Peasy throws it up the inside, catches Osto napping. Let's try and catch that one again, because that is something special. Osto early on the brakes, leaves the door open, Peasy gets through. It might have been the faintest of touches, but it's clean enough. This fight continues though. Osto, Peasy. Kane's not far behind us. Peasy looking for the little switchback on Marty. So we get a great little view here. Peasy's going to happily sit behind. Looked like there may have been a little touch there. As Peasy's going to get the run up the hill. Osto follows him through. The Mustang's playing bumpety bumpety. That and Diddler going up the inside as well. All the while Ben is looking at this and thinking, I can get on the back of this pack. And Max is just licking his lips as he saves his fuel and still pulls away. I just realised I was muted that whole time. I've kept talking and Streams comes up the hill. Sitting behind Osto still. Oh, he has to back out of that one. It's not really a place you can overtake comfortably, especially with 40 laps to go. Wonder if Marty is regretting taking those medium tyres now, as everyone else on softs and super softs around him seems to have walked past him a little bit. And it looks like that may continue as Ben has the upper hand with the Mustang. Breezes past. That's the advantage of that forward power. So let's take a quick look through the field. So we have our leader Nax, Pearsy, Osto, closely followed by Extreme, Sir Dids, Ben George, Marty McFarty, Mickey's 123, Hellblazer, Golden Alpine, Brandon, Steve, and Roddy Dongs. Roddy Dongs goes another lap down to Steve. Max appears to be feeling pretty comfortable. Certainly in control of this race. Someone who's probably not feeling quite so comfortable. Stream right on his tail. As we've seen though, the Mustangs definitely have the power advantage. It's easier for them to overtake. And on the flip side, it can be quite hard to overtake them down the straights, especially if they're willing to burn some fuel to stay in front. But if there is a perfect opportunity, it's right now. Let's go on board with Extreme New Zealander. So he runs down in the slipstream. I think he might have had to back off a little bit, but he will have the opportunity to have a look. It just depends on if he chooses to or not. Also does go defensive, closes the door at the last second, returns to the racing line. He may needs to make sure that all that braking happens in a straight line and that any moving is done before the braking zone. Osto gives it a side. I think Osto might have taken my commentary words a little bit too much to heart. But it does give him the chance now to sit behind Extreme and feel safe. Osto confirming it was just a mistake coming into the final corner. Mickey's has also made it past Marty McFarty. So we see someone coming into the pits, and that's Steve. He's running out of fuel. He's made sure he's got his money's worth out of those tyres as well. See the gap that Extreme has put on Osto already. It's almost up to 2 seconds. It is over 2 seconds. Looks like there might have been a little bit of a mistake from Osto, and Dids is going to have the opportunity to have a run down the Conrod straight. He sits behind, but he is chewing into his any gap that's there. Osto peels into the pits, which releases Dids to run some fast laps. Let's take a look at this pit stop and see where he comes out. Looks like we are going to see some green flag pitting here. Something that everyone from the previous Mustang Cup would not be particularly familiar with. I don't think there was a single green flag pit stop the entire race. So fuel goes into that car. We expect it's going to brim it. And we all know Osto is probably as thirsty as that Mustang right now anyway. Max consistently dropping some lap times that we know that he'll be happy with. So Osto has come out in 10th. He's essentially dropped to the back of the pack. Brandon, Steve and Roddy Dongs trailing behind. There's not a lot of on-track shenanigans right this second. Got Piercy in second. Extreme in third. Didner in fourth. With a couple of second gap between all of them. And Mickey's is on the charge here. He's put the foot down a little bit. He's separated himself from Marty and he's definitely gaining on Ben George. And you can look at his lap times on the right hand side there and see why. 2:03.7. That's faster than anyone around him at the moment. That would actually make him the second fastest car on track as Piercy pulls into the pits. Empty tank. Looks like he may have even run out completely. The question is, will he repair that little bit of damage he's got, or will he just run with it? And the other big question we have is that lots of people put into the pits now is, as Extreme is released, does the foot go down or does he keep up with his fuel saving strategy? Is he running the numbers game? He's 13 seconds, nearly 14 seconds behind Nax, but does appear to have the car advantage at the moment. As we come out, you see Osto, the first of those pitters, coming out in front of everyone so far. Piercy's dropped quite a bit. Maybe there's that little bit of damage. He has repaired it. That could have lost him a few seconds in the pits. Hellblazer and Marty McFarty. Marty looking like he might have a little sneaky peek. And he will, up into Griffiths. He's a little bit earlier on the brakes. But he's got a little bit of a switchback coming up the hill. And he's going to get it done. No, Hellblazer keeps the car there. Whether he should have or not, maybe up for discussion. See if we can go back and catch it. He was alongside. Don't know if Marty could have been expected to see him though. No doubt Marty will be wanting to getting back. Not through Skyline, surely not. Surely not. No, he backs out of it, thinks better of it. As we see our race leader Nax pit running out of fuel, which will promote the New Zealander up into first. Big scrape of the wall for Hellblazer. That's going to make it difficult for Marty to get round and get a run on him in this corner. We see he's running out of fuel completely. Now Ben does have that little bit of damage as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he repairs that or if he decides to run with it. Nax comes out. Oh, I thought for a moment that he'd pulled in behind Piercy, but no, it's just wrongy yongs. Piercy's got past Diddits at one point. Marty McFarty back in front of Hellblazer as well. And where is Ben going to come out the pits? He's come out in front of that little battle, which I'm sure he's very grateful for. Mickey's looks like he's jumped him as well. Let's jump on board with our current race leader. Sorry guys, the stream's just dropped, so I'm just trying to get it back.
My mum was watching.
She's not anymore. Alright, I'm going to end the stream and restart it. Hang on. Yep, pulled aside. Roddy, just be careful as you come up the hill here, you will have people coming up behind you.